Heather Thomson is calling out the Real Housewives of New York for fake friendships and saying that they should recast the entire cast. She also talks about her friendship with Luann. Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. As you know, Heather Thomson, who was a part of the cast many seasons ago, but returned in season 13, sort of as a, I guess she was supposed to be a friend of, but the weekend that she spent in the Hamptons with Leah completely made her run and never return. She talked about this in a new interview with our friends over at Behind the Velvet Rope. Shout out to them. They're getting a lot of really great interviews. So Heather Thomson, before we get into that, I have to tell you, I had a celebrity sighting. And when I say celebrity, I use that very loosely. So I was downtown in Manhattan. As you guys know, I live here in New York. So I'm minding my own business. And guess who I run into? She didn't see me. She didn't see me. I immediately text Adam. I was like, guess who I just ran into? He gets Ramona. Really, Adam? Who have I been saying she needs to go? Get off my show. Leah McSweeney. Yes, of Leah Mob. Married to the Mob. I think she was going somewhere. Where were you going, Leah? Anyways, and when I say going somewhere, I think she looked like she was going out of town. She was trying to catch a cab. And I have to give it to her. She looks really beautiful in person. But I never said that she was bad looking. I just didn't like her personality for the Real Housewives of New York. I'm actually honestly glad that she didn't see me, because that would have been awkward. Because I know she watches. But with that being said, Heather Thomson did this interview, and she had a lot of her own thoughts in regards to the cast. And she believes that the cast should be completely recast. This is what she says. I would recast the entire show. I would start from brand new. I would take all of the lessons that I learned, and I would recast the show in its entirety. I'd want to upset this apple cart and bring on some change and do some good work, along with the dramatic toxicity that you know is addictive. And one of the things that Reality Blur brought up was the last time they did a cast shakeup, and I completely forgot about this. According to Heather, who was brought to the show for season 5 after the firings of Jill Zarin, Alex McCord, Kelly Ben-Simone, and Cindy Barshop. I also ran into Cindy one time in the city. I was just like, ooh, she looked, never mind. Never mind. Bravo nearly recast the entire show at that time. I completely forgot about that big shakeup. However, because she had a history with a number of the members of season 5, including Sonia and Carol Radziwill, they were able to mesh better than the women of season 13. That was a good time. This was RHONY's worst season ever. We've never seen a season this bad ever on RHONY. I've never, ever. The only other season that was this bad was season 12. And that's because Leah was on it. I don't care what anyone says. Fight me on it. Fight me on it. With that being said, she also calls out Leah and Ebony's fake friendship, because she says that they didn't know each other. I thought we all knew this. At this point, we all know that a lot of the times these housewives don't know each other. I thought we learned this from Portia and Fallon. They weren't really friends. Either way, they were co-workers, though. I'm not saying, look, we'll talk about Portia later. But with that being said, she's calling it out. She says, they don't know each other. Leah McSweeney and Ebony K. Williams never knew each other. That's all made up. I thought we all knew that they didn't know each other. I think they only got along well is because, you know, they're in the same age bracket. They're both Virgos. I know way too much about these ladies already. I like Ebony, but I didn't like Ebony and Leah together, because I don't feel like she called Leah out when she needed to call Leah out for some really bad behavior. Including when Ebony went to Leah. Remember when they were in the Hamptons and Ebony went to Leah and was talking about her own personal story, and then Leah made it about her, and that's when she went down to go fight Heather. I digress. Back to this. So according to Heather, she feels like the reason why season 13 didn't rate well, she says, by noting that the fans of the series likely weren't interested in watching a politically charged reality show and advising producers to add more storytelling. She even said they should make some of it scripted and pointed out that the OGs can, quote, act. Look, I believe at this point with reality TV, it's hard to get real TV. It is really hard to get real TV. So a lot of it is scripted. Even RHONY, some of this is scripted. Like we were just talking about, Ebony and Leah are not friends. So that's scripted. She also talked about why she exited so abruptly for season 13, because the rumor was that they had brought her on to be a friend of. They were trying to add probably a little bit more youthful energy to the mix. And we've talked about it multiple times, RHONY, especially that weekend that Heather was in town. Heather had some problematic things, and I felt like Heather was trying too hard to be, be there for Ebony, which she then made herself look bad. But overall, I didn't mind Heather returning. And I do feel like Leah really was just trying very hard to come at Heather for no reason and making a big deal of a podcast episode that she talked about the ladies. And Luann didn't care. Luann was like, okay, she called her out for it. And then, all right, I'm done with it. But Leah at the end of the table was like, oh, but, no buts, Leah. Mind your business. Mind your business. And even with that little fight that they had in the Hamptons, the ratings still sucked. Heather also talked about that she's a little creeped out by the season 13 experience and accused Bravo of manipulating footage. And this is what she says. She spoke to the higher-ups. She says, I've said this to the higher-ups at Bravo. I thought it was dirty producing. I thought it was self-produced. I didn't like any of that. She also reveals when she was leaving the Hamptons in the car back home, she called Carol, who that was an authentic friendship. I wouldn't mind seeing that play out on the show because they really became friends from the show. They actually hang out. They actually stay in communication to the point. I wish we had gotten that on tape, her calling Carol, but she had already checked out. She was done with the show. You also may recall that there was a beef between Ebony and Heather after the show. We could go, that's a whole other video, but there was some beef online, but they actually had a conversation. And that's what I love about Ebony. She's like, let's get on the phone. Let's talk about this. Let's not do this whole texting back and forth or social media beef. And she says they're actually friends now because of that. But going back to what she said to Carol when on her way after this Hamptons weekend, she says, I was actually talking to Carol in the car service on the way home. She was upset for me because she knows how toxic it can be. And she knows what the internet's capable of, and production and the edit. She was really worried about the edit. The other friendship that she talks about in this podcast interview with Behind the Velvet Rope, she talks about Luann. We remember on this season, she called Luann out for not being a real friend. Well, she reiterates that and says after she left the show, her friendship with Luann was pretty much over. And we've heard multiple people accuse Luann of being that type of fair weather friend. And this is what she says. When I first joined the cast of the show, I had a friendship with Luann that meant something to me. She was in my home with my young children. They knew her. My husband knew her. We had a friendship. But when I left the show, that friendship was over. I was a, quote, show friend for Luann. Damn, Luann. But anyone surprised? Anyone surprised? It seems as if with Luann, you're always getting base level. I can't even imagine if there's a deep friendship with Luann, with anyone. That's why she can be good friends with Ramona, because it's not going to go any deeper than very surface. Huh? I like your dress. I like your outfit. What are we eating? Where are we going? What are we doing? Who are we hanging out with? That's what you're going to get from Luann and Ramona. And every once in a while, it's funny to watch because we know that they're not deep friends. But in real life, and I think that's what a lot of people loved about Heather, is that you're getting a real person, someone that's genuine. And I kind of wanted to see more of Heather this season, and maybe the dynamic would have been different. But I'm not going to say that Heather would have saved the season. No shape or form. The real that we're looking for are people like Bethany or Dorinda. Shout out to Dorinda. Oh, they need to bring her back. I don't care about the rumors of them saying that they're not considering Dorinda for next season. You guys need to consider Dorinda for next season. As you know, season 2 of The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. I really hate that title. Why couldn't you guys just do All Stars? Well, it will be filmed at Dorinda's Berkshire's home, and we hear there is a major beef between Dorinda and Vicky Gunvalson, who I hear just split from her fiance. They unfollowed each other. Oh, Vicky. I'm looking forward to the season, though. I will be watching it and recapping it here on the channel. So if you enjoy content like this, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.